realistically 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching. And we do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community because you're here, I'm here, we're here a lot. We get to know each other. And finally, because we do all those things, hopefully we make a whole bunch of progress towards our side split goals. That's the intro. My name is Ken, and I hope you have fun. Let's get into the warm-up exercises. The first warm-up exercise we're going to do is called the hip cars. Cars is capital C, capital A, capital R. That's for you to Google in case you want more information. It's a little S is just plural cars, and it stands for controlled articulated rotations. What we're really doing is lifting our knee as high as possible, opening up that hip, pointing the leg directly to the left. Keep that knee high. Work those muscles right here. Then we're going to rotate that leg so that the ankle is as high as the knee. I'm going to turn around. You don't have to turn around. I'm just showing you how high the ankle is being lifted so that from your perspective, the ankle is hidden behind the knee. And we're going to bring the leg down and back. Down and back, in this case, also means we're flexing the hamstring, we're flexing the glute, we're pulling that leg backwards and feeling that stretch in the hip. I'm exaggerating a little bit when I go like this. You don't really actually want to lean forward because there's no point. So you want to try your best to keep your upper body relatively straight and stick your leg back behind you. All right. That is one hip car on the left side. We're going to do 9 more on the left side, or we'll do all 10. We'll do 10 on the left side, 10 on the right side. Then we'll go in reverse and do them backwards on the left and then the right. I have a little bit of a weird foot injury thing going on. So I have a chair here, maybe possibly just barely in the camera that I'm going to hold on to for balance on the right side when I'm going like this, because it's a little bit harder to balance. On the left side, I should be fine. But feel free to go to a wall, put your hand against it, grab a chair, a dining room table, stool, anything you want to help you stay balanced as we go. The more stable you feel, the more you can put a lot of attention and effort into lifting that knee as high as possible, opening up your hip as wide as possible, really focusing on lifting the ankle high and bringing the leg back. If you're off balance, you're trying to figure out balance, it's much harder to focus on getting full range of motion. Okay, so grab something, get balanced, and let's go. Hip cars, high knee, open, ankle, down and back, 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 high knee, open, ankle, down and back. I think it's 5. We got 5 more. 6, high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, high knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. I think that's 8. 9, last one, 10. We are done with the left side. Let's keep going. We're going to get the right side done, and I'm going to come over and check the comments real quick before we go into reverse. All right. This is my not injured foot side, so I'm going to try my best to balance. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. Whew. Immediately off balance. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. If you're wondering why we're doing so many of these, it's because we want to make sure you get your hips warmed up and you get all of the little muscles in your legs firing. And what better way to do that than to force them to work really hard in weird positions that you never get into. But jokes aside, we are doing these because it works on your range of motion in the hip. And that is invaluable because it gives you access to positions like this. It gives you positions like this and helps you to move well. But most importantly, you're controlling that position, right? You're forcefully bringing your leg into this high knee position. You're opening up your leg out to the side. You're raising that ankle. You're bringing the leg down and back. And every time you're using those muscles, you're working those muscles, you're getting stronger in those positions. Maybe you don't need them right now. Maybe you don't need them tomorrow. But maybe one day you got to pick up some Legos from the floor and then you'll be like, oh yeah, my hips are awesome. All right. That's 10 on the left side, 10 on the right side. going forward. Let's get ready to go backwards. I think I said I would come check the comments, so I'm gonna do that real quick. I think we are doing good in the chat. Just a lot of people joining, nothing in the comments to address. That's good. If you're just joining in, you have no idea what we do. We do 40-ish minutes of live side split stretching. We just got started, so we just finished part of our first warm-up exercise, and that was called the hip cars. We're going to keep doing the hip cars and go in reverse, and then we're going to keep going. We do 3 warm-up exercises, 5 stretches, and the 5th and final stretch is basically 3 rounds of side splits. Everything that we do is to prepare the hips, to prepare the muscles, to warm you up, because I expect you to come in totally cold, not having done anything, and it's getting cold outside, so you're probably extra cold. And yeah, by the time we get all the way through all the stretches, your side split muscles will have been pre-stretched, and then we'll really stretch them. Okay, let's get into the end of our first warm-up exercise. He is the head of Turkey. I don't know what that means. I don't think I am, but you're talking about the wrong person if you're referring to Erdogan. Okay, go reverse. I'm gonna hold on to something and I'm gonna show you from the side so it's easier to see what my legs and my hips are doing. High knee, open up that hip directly to the side, lift the ankle as high as you can, and then bring the leg down and back. All right, flex the hamstring, flex the glutes. I am so sorry. I just started doing it in the regular order. We're going reverse. We're going back first, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Then we're gonna lift the leg up directly to the side, like we're in a really cool martial arts movie, and we're kicking our enemies, and we're doing like a flying jump kick. That's the second part. We're gonna rotate that leg so that the ankle comes down, and you try your best to keep that knee high. Right now, we're still pointing directly to our side. I'm gonna rotate again and face you so you can see what I mean when I say when I'm pointing directly to the side. Again, I'm on my right foot. It's a little bit injured, so my balance is extra bad because it hurts. But now that I'm facing you, I got my handy dandy chair right here so I can hold on to it and have better balance. Next, the final step is bring your knee to the front. If you were here for the first round, you'll know that all the moves are the same. We're just going in reverse order. So let's go. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. This, I think, is 7, 8. Last one, back, side, ankle, knee. That is 10. Whew. Okay. Let's do it again. Last leg, last side, and then we'll be done with hip cars. Once again, I'm going to do it at a slight angle so it's easier to see what my legs are doing. And hopefully, since this is not my injured foot, I'll have a little bit better balance. Let's go. Bring the leg back, flex the hamstring, flex the glutes, lift directly to the side. Try to get your ankle as high as your knee. Rotate the leg, bring the knee up high. We're going pointing directly to the side, trying to keep our knee high. And then finally, bring that knee in front, try to keep it as high as possible. There's 1 rep. We got 9 more to go. Let's go. Back, side, ankle, knee. Ooh, my hip just popped. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. I think that's 4 or 5. We'll just pretend it's 4 because I'm horrible at keeping count. But this is definitely 6 if that was 4. And I'm off balance. 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. Okay, we're done with hip cars. Relax. Shake it out. Get loose. And we're going to move on into the next warm-up exercise. I hope people following. Awesome. Kyola, welcome. Kate, Astray, welcome. Okay. And D just followed. Butterfly C says hello. Hello, Butterfly C. Okay. Back on YouTube, somebody asked, where are you from? I am from the States, the US. KWare112 says hi. Hello. And Cryptic Cupcake, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Okay, let's get into warm-up exercise number 2. We don't need to hold on to anything for balance. So if you were pulling something really close, you can scoot that out of the way, and give yourself a little bit more space. Let's get into the elephant walk. That's warm-up exercise number 2. It looks a bit like this. We're just getting into kind of an L shape. If you're a little bit higher up and it's more like a letter R or something, that's okay. We're just chilling here, giving our hamstrings a couple of seconds to adjust and get used to doing some stretching. And you don't have to, work so hard that you're burning yourself down just yet. We can take a couple of seconds to breathe and enjoy the fact that we can do cool stuff like bending over and feel like our knees are working and our hips are working. Because, back pain, knee pain is like number 1 and 2 in terms of long-term pain that adults in the US have. So, and I assume that applies to the whole world, but yeah, enjoy the mobility that you do have, and let's put in a little bit of effort to make sure we keep it for as long as possible, or better yet, make it better. Okay, now that you've hung out here for a little bit, your hamstrings probably got tight, and then you moved a little bit, they relaxed a little bit, maybe they're loosened up. I want you to start bending one knee and then the other, and straightening the opposite leg. So right now my left leg is bent, my right leg is straight. And when you do that, and you also try to bring your belly button down to the ground, your hamstrings, both in the bent leg and the straight leg, get a little bit of a nice stretch. So I want you to just do that a little bit. Some gentle movement and pulsing. We're just going to do, 6, 7, 8 of these. And then we'll add a little bit of fun stuff. I think we did thoracic rotation yesterday, so we'll do it again today because I am feeling like my arms are really cold, and we'll see why thoracic rotation helps with that in a second. All right, now that you've done a bunch of knee bending from side to side, and we've gotten the hamstrings a little bit warmed up, let's add a little bit of complexity to it. Okay, so right now I'm facing you. My left leg is bent, my right leg is straight. I'm gonna bring my belly button down as low as I can get and still stay balanced. Now, I'm gonna take my left hand, I'm gonna grab my opposite leg, the right leg, I'm gonna push against it and help it open my chest to the right. I'm gonna stick my right hand up all the way as far back as I can and twist my back and then come back down. Okay, and then we're gonna reverse it. Now, right leg is bent, right hand grabs left leg, helps to push your chest, and then your left arm goes up and behind. Bring your chest back down, bring your belly button down as low as you can. Feel that hamstring stretch while you twist your back and come back down. Okay, if you did that right, if you really pushed to open up that stretch, maybe there's a little bit more blood flowing into your chest, into your shoulders, into your arms, into your back. Those are all wonderful things. Let's keep going. We just did that side. So let's do maybe 3 on each side. If you want to do more, I'm not going to stop you. And especially if you have been here before and you know that our next exercise is the Cossack switch and you don't need as much of the details when I do the explanation, you can do as many of these as you want and get warmed up, okay? Thoracic rotation is super important because your spine is designed to twist, and we really don't do very much of it in our day-to-day. So spend a couple of seconds, 20 seconds maybe, to get a little bit of movement to help you remember what you're capable of. All right, we're moving on into warm-up exercise number 3. It is called the Cossack switch. It looks a bit like this. We're opening up our legs probably about 3 times their hip width. This right here is hip width. This is about 2, that's about 3. It's not that important exactly how wide you are, but what is important is we're going to drop our weight down to one side. And I'm going to rotate so you can see what is happening to my leg when I'm doing this. I want your knees and your toes to be traveling in the same line. So my toes are pointing towards you guys, towards the camera. When I am going down, I want the knee to only go in the same exact direction as my toes. I don't want my knee out there. Don't want my knee out there or in that way. All right. There's a time and place to train those things. We won't get into that now, but we're not doing those things. So keep your toes and your knees going the same direction. And it is entirely possible for your knee and toe to travel in the same direction while your leg is at different points. For example, right now, my knee is pointing directly at you guys, and my hips are this way, directly perpendicular to the camera. I can put my knees and my toes in the same direction. I can rotate the hip over here, and I can still have my knees and my toes go in the same direction. I can open up to almost 90 degrees and still have my knees and my toes going in the same direction. So make sure that you're doing that and make any adjustments that you need to. Cossack switch. Let's get into it. We're going to hang out in this deep position. We want to feel the stretch in the Achilles tendon. We want to feel the pressure building in the front of the ankle. We want to feel the pressure building in that hip joint. We're just going to chill here for a little bit. Okay. If you're struggling with balance a little bit, I want you to try your best to put your heel down. When your whole foot is down, it's easier to stay balanced. It might force you to come back a little bit more because that's where you need to be, depending on how flexible your ankles are. And that's totally okay. We're just going to chill here for another 5 seconds. Then we're going to try and get our butts over to the other side and mirror this. Okay, there's lots of different ways to get over to the other side. I recommend trying to take your hands and walking to the other side if it's your first time. If you know exactly what you're doing, you can get there easily. You don't need my advice. You got this. Okay, same thing. We're on the other side now. Feeling the stretch in the Achilles tendon, the pressure in the front of the ankle, pressure in the hip. We're going to hang here for a couple of seconds. And then we're going to start going from side to side. What I want you to focus on is getting into a deep position here like this and here like this. I don't really care that much how you get from side to side. So let's talk about all the different ways you can make this easier or harder for yourself as you do that. We already talked about this, putting your hands down to help you over. You can, if your ankles, your knees, your hips, if something feels like it's a little bit too much pressure, you can reduce the pressure by coming up into a less intense squat, less deep, come over to the other side, and then come down. You can come all the way up into a full Cossack squat and then come down. Those are all totally cool. You can do something in the middle while your hands are down and you completely raise your hips up. As long as you get to the other side and you hang out in this deep position and hang out here for a little bit, doesn't matter how you do it. All right. Any way you do it, you're getting stronger and you're getting more mobile. So make it work for you. All right. I've been talking a lot. I don't know if you've been switching from side to side, but let's pick up the pace just a little bit and go from side to side. We only really need to do 5 or so. And once you have those done, take a nice big deep breath and get ready to get into our stretches. The first stretch that we're going to do is the hamstring stretch. So I recommend you go grab a pillow, a cushion for your knee, because the way we're going to do the hamstring stretch is going to be on one knee. And that means if your floor is hard, it might be a little bit uncomfortable. Go grab anything that you can put your knee on and give yourself a little bit of padding. Could be a little bit of foam, could be a yoga block, it could be an old slipper, an old shoe, towels rolled up, anything like that is fair game. Okay, while you guys go do that, I am going to go ahead and check the chats to see if there's anything I need to address. There's a whole bunch of people following. This is very lovely. Care Freely, Miss Nostalgia, Chrissy 5073, Shar Honda, Odd Psycho, Odd Psych O, Kayla Steen, Dean, Los Angeles 5, Quiet, Stargazer, Z, a ton of people. This is awesome. If you have no idea what you just followed, we do 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching every single day. And we do this every day to practice consistency. Hopefully with that consistency, which is both for you and for me, it helps me when you guys are here because it makes doing stretching a little bit more fun, gives me more energy, makes me really want to do it. And hopefully my good vibes and everybody else who's here in the live and in the chat and hanging out makes you more likely that you'll enjoy doing stretches. Hopefully, with all of us together, we can make a lot of progress towards our side split goals and practice that consistency, which you and I both know is the most important thing, even though it's really hard to do. So hopefully together we can make that consistency a little bit easier to do. Okay, that's what I do. Let's get into the hamstring stretch. I threw away my cushion. I'm not sure why. Let's get that cushion and let's talk hamstrings. We're going to drop one knee down and we're going to put one leg directly in front. We're going to focus on keeping our hips pointed directly in front of us and that leg directly in front of us as well. Second thing we want to focus on is our belly buttons. Okay, the belly buttons are right above our hips. The real thing we want to care about is our hips folding like so. It's a little bit harder to imagine, but if you just focus on your belly button is like right here. It's like an inch above the top of your hips. So your belly button can't cheat you. All right. And when I say cheat you, I mean this. If you just look at where my belly button is, it's getting real tight and uncomfortable right here at this angle, right? But my chest, if I really wanted to, I can curl my chest, bring my chest way down. My head is so close to my leg now, so much closer than this. And it's not necessarily wrong, but we want an accurate measure of progress, right? If you get really flexible backs from the hamstring stretch, then we're probably not doing the best possible hamstring stretch to get the hamstring stretch result, right? So when I say focus on your belly button, I mean your belly button. Try to bring your hips forward and down and get into that stretch. All right. So we've talked about the belly button. Let's get into that initial position. We're going to take a nice big deep breath to try and relax when we're there. Lean forward, lean forward. When you start getting really tight in the hamstrings, it gets really uncomfortable and you're starting to go, oh man, what's going on? Take a nice big deep breath and release. See if you could calm that nervous system a little bit and get into a slightly deeper stretch, or at least be less uncomfortable. All right. From here, we're going to really focus on bringing that button down. We're going to hold it for 30 seconds. I'm going to count us in. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember, you have to keep breathing. At the end of the day, stretching is about controlling whether or not your muscle can relax in kind of a scary ass position. And in this case, I'll tell you right now, my hamstring is not relaxed, but we're trying to train our body to relax, and it's going to be slow. It's going to take time. If you are super tense, if you're not breathing, if all of your every single possible muscle in your body is contracted right now, it's not going to make it any easier for you to relax into the stretch. Okay. So try to chill out everything other than this hamstring and do your best to relax. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, okay, come on. Out of that. Oh, if you did it right, your hamstring probably really hated you a couple seconds ago, but now that you're not in the hamstring stretch, probably starting to feel okay. It's not so bad. We can move on. And that would be a good sign because we're going to move on. Let's go. Same thing. We're going to point the leg and the hips directly in front of us. We're going to focus on bringing that belly button down to the thigh. Once it starts getting all tight in the hamstring, take a nice big deep breath and slowly release. Try to relax into the stretch as much as you can. I know I talked about trying to keep your belly button in focus and that we don't really want to overtrain our backs at being bendy. But if your back is a little bit bent, it's not an actual big deal. I just want you to focus on bringing your belly button to the ground rather than bringing your head to the ground. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on out of that stretch. And hopefully As you stand up, you'll be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. It sucked when I was doing it, but now my legs are feeling fine. If that's the case, then we are perfectly positioned to go ahead and move right on into stretch number 2. The second stretch that we're doing is called a butterfly. It looks like this. Typically, you bring your feet together, you pull them in, and then you're trying to bring your knees down to the ground. Most of the time, you'll see somebody kind of like hunched over, trying to push their knees down, grabbing onto their feet. And it's not the best way to get into this stretch. And I'll talk about how to get into a better stretch in 1 second. But I want you to notice how high my knees are right now. I'm really trying to bring them down, and this is where they're getting stuck. Okay, this is the shape. This is where my knees are. Now let's come over and get to a wall. This doesn't have to be a wall. It could be a door. It could be a really big bookcase, maybe something sturdy that you can put your whole back against. All right. So right now we're putting our hips, my shoulders, my head against the wall. One, it gives us a good posture, but also gives something for us to push against. All right. Pushing against something is really important, and we'll see why right now. Let's get into that same position we were just in. Bring the feet together, pull it in, and try to bring your knees down to the ground. You might notice that the angle of my legs is immediately better. And part of the reason why it's immediately better is because we can push against the wall and use our muscles a little bit better. It only gets better from here. This wall is magic. It's not even doing anything but being here, and it's going to be super magical. Okay, before we continue though, let's make sure we're using our muscles to contract and get stronger while we do these stretches. So I want you to focus on these outer thigh muscles and these glutes. And I want you to really try to open up your groin, which is everything in here, and this is what the stretch is designed to do. However, just telling you to contract your outer thigh and your glute probably doesn't make that much sense. We want to bring the knees down to the ground. Okay. So whatever you got to try to do to bring the knees to the ground is probably going to be contracting your outer thighs and glutes. So figure it out. Okay. Once you have started contracting those muscles and you're trying to bring your knees down to the ground and you're struggling and you're suffering because this is really hard, we can go on to step number 3. I don't know if there's actually step number 3. The next step, we're going to take our hands, we're going to apply pressure directly to the legs. And when you start applying pressure, you'll notice that the back of your head and your shoulders are starting to really push into that wall. And this is a good sign. It will be uncomfortable a little bit for your head until you get used to it, but you're applying way more pressure into your legs because your body is pushing against the wall, and that makes it so that this stretch is way more effective. And you can see how low my legs have gotten in this version of the stretch versus when we were over there 3 feet away. Okay. Let's take a brief pause for a second. That was really intense. There's a lot of explanation. If you have any questions, throw in the chat. Let me know so I can figure out how to explain it better in the future. But we're taking this quick break so that we can get into a really good stretch for the next 30 seconds. All right. Break is over. Contract the glutes, contract the outer thigh muscles, pull the knees down into the ground, get really tight. Take your hands, apply pressure. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. Remember, we're breathing. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. You can relax the hands. You can slump over if you need to. Make sure your legs are working. Just lift up those knees with your hands for a second. As soon as they start moving, they should start feeling much better, and you can use your muscles to move the legs. Once you're flapping around like a butterfly, you're good. You can get up, and we can get ready for stretch number 3, the standing pancake. Oh, okay. The standing pancake looks a little bit like this. We're going to stand, we're going to open up our legs, we're going to fold forward and try to bring our belly button as low to the ground as possible. Okay, and we're going to try to bring basically our heads in between our legs. It's going to be really hard to get into that position, and that is why we do the standing version of this stretch, because when we stand and when we fold like this, gravity is pulling down our whole entire upper body. All right. And when you're at this angle, it's pretty much the most painful position you can be in. I try to come up with some better analogy, but I couldn't think of it on the spot. If you were to hold the water bottle next to your chest, it wouldn't feel that bad. But if you were to hold that same water bottle out, fully extended with your arm like this, it would feel kind of heavy. It wouldn't be as heavy if it was like this. It probably wouldn't be heavy at all if you raised it overhead. It probably would be okay, but still kind of tiring down here. But it'd be the most tiring here, unless you have like a couple of freakishly strong muscles and every other muscle around it was really weak. It should be the case that holding it directly out like this feels the hardest over time. And that is the principle that we want to take advantage of when we're doing the hamstring stretch. We want to fold forward. We want our upper bodies to get long and feel all that pressure being pulled down from gravity and help us get into a deep stretch. Okay. So now you know we're going to try and get into this position. And I'm going to cheat the angle a little bit so you can see what my legs are doing and you can see what my arms are doing. And let's get into position. If you have any questions about the position, you need to start by opening up your legs as wide as you can until it's almost uncomfortable in the hips. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable, not yet. Okay? Then fold forward at the hips. You can put your hands down if you want. If this is your first time in the position, it's helpful to sort of figure out what's going on with your hips. And I recommend you trying to stick your butt a little bit further back and sticking your arms out in front of you, because this helps to counterbalance. Okay? And basically, this angle is just you folding. All right? But your upper body is staying mostly horizontal and your legs are the angle that's shifting forward. I hope that makes sense. Let's get into position. We're going 30 seconds. You can always put an arm down. You can put both arms down. If you need to take a relaxing moment, you can put your hands down all together and just give yourself support. All right, 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Remember to breathe and remember the goal is to bring the belly button to the floor. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down, relax, come on up out of that stretch, and come back into some position where you can chill a little bit. It's a really, really hard stretch. The standing pancake stretches a lot of main muscles. The two big ones are your adductors and hamstrings. The adductors are just the inner thighs. That makes sense because our legs are trying to spread out, right? So anytime you do that, your leg muscles over here will freak out. They'll be like, what are you doing? Why are you going over there? That's why they get really uncomfortable. Your hamstrings are connected from your hip all the way to just below your knee. So anytime you rotate the hip or you fold forward, for example, your hamstring is getting stretched. It doesn't matter if we're doing a regular hamstring stretch with our legs together and right in front of us, or if our legs are spread apart. Anytime your hip is going like that, your hamstring is getting stretched. Whew. I hope that little tidbit of information was educational, and I hope that also filled in enough time for you to take a couple of nice deep breaths, help you relax a little bit, so we can get into stretch number 4. The fourth stretch is called the figure 4. And while I am really close and standing, I kept slipping deeper. Okay, sorry, hold on. Let me interrupt. Hamon, tongue smiley face emoji, says, I kept slipping deeper into the stretch. I almost didn't make it. I'm sorry that you were so successful with the stretch that you might have been too successful. Okay. I'm checking to see if there's anything else I need to address real quick. I don't think I see anything. Goldo X is back. Hey, I think it's day 6 for her in a row. So if you guys want, you can congratulate her. Stargazer says, love this, just came up on my page. T Rob says, bummer, 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 bummer. Can you paint the high and oh, okay. It looks like we are back on TikTok. Yep, Ozzy, thank you for letting me know. Has any okay, I see hearts coming in, so that means people are liking it. That's a good sign. Okay. We just had some internet difficulties and it looks like everything is back. So let's get back into the stretches. Actually, somebody just threw in some questions. Um, can you pain the high and hamstring? Not sure that sentence was written correctly, but the hamstrings. Oh, any tips for strengthening hamstrings and adductors? The muscles in question. TikTok has been having so many issues lately. Oh, thank you for letting me know that it might not just be me, but I think it was me. But I appreciate that you can blame TikTok for it. Okay, it's TikTok's fault. Uh, thank you for letting me know that it is back. All right, let's talk hamstrings and adductors real quick. The adductors muscles here, uh, their main purpose is to contract and pull your leg in. So if you really want to make these stronger, there's a couple of ways, and one of them looks a little bit like this. I got a stool over here on the side. I'm gonna lift that leg up, and I'm gonna try and use the muscle here to lift my body up. This would be basically the muscle getting worked and getting stronger. At the same time, if you're really cool about it, you're actually also working your core and a whole bunch of other stabilizer muscles in your torso, in addition to this adductor muscle. And you can always test to see if it's working by just, tapping your leg to see how tense it is. All right, so that's the adductors. And the hamstrings are designed primarily to pull your knee back, or it's not the only use case, but the main thing that it does is pull your knee from straight into bent. So if you have access to a gym, there are lots of gym machines that basically are like this, where you pull your leg back, and that would strengthen your hamstrings. Don't have access to a gym. Um, there are a bunch of different exercises. If we want to start easy for the hamstrings, it might look a little bit like this. We use our bodies to get a little bit off the ground, and then we pull our heels in into this position. Then we put them back, and then we pull them back in, and then put them back, and then pull them back in. And that's how you do a couple of variations of hamstring exercises. A very advanced form of a hamstring exercise that you can Google is called the Nordic curl. I don't know what makes it Nordic and whether there's any fun story behind that, but the gist of it is your ankle is held down in a specific place and it stops moving, and then you use your hamstring and your glutes sort of to do this, except with no arms. That is a terrible way of describing it because I just did a weird push up. I don't have the right tools to do it. Basically, you're using your hamstrings to curl your whole entire upper body, and the only thing down and secure to the ground is your heel, and the knee is on the ground. That's the lever. So a way that it could look, just pretend my hands aren't here, okay? I'm gonna do a push up in appearance, but imagine me doing this with just my leg muscle. This is kind of an Nordic curl, and it's a really, really, really hard freaking exercise. That's enough of a tangent. Please, if you need more information, let me know in the chat. We can talk afterwards. But also, I threw in enough buzzwords for you to Google that it should be easy to find something. Okay, where were we? We are on stretch number 4, the figure 4 stretch. And it's called the figure 4 stretch because we bring the ankle across the body. And when you do that, it sort of looks like the number 4. But what we're really focused on is trying to bring the chest down to that leg, like so. so that we can feel the stretch in this outer glute area, okay? And we got two main ways to do this. We got the figure four stretch and we got the pigeon. The pigeon stretch is definitely the more famous stretch considering how popular yoga is. And it looks a little bit like this. We're bringing this bone directly across our body, okay? And we're trying to bring our chest down over the leg, and we're trying to keep the hips pretty low to the ground. So we don't want to go, like put your head down but have your butt up. We want to keep your hips low and your chest low. And you'll start feeling that stretch right here across the side back of your glute. And that's perfect. Only thing I want you to be aware of is making sure you push that heel away as much as possible, because when you're moving around in that position, your leg will want to go to the easiest position for it to hang out in. And generally that means your heel will start coming in towards your groin because it's so much more chill over there than it is over there. Okay, that's the pigeon stretch. If that's what you want to do, you can get ready, get into that position. If you want to do the figure four, I'm going to do it this way so you know what it looks like. We're taking the leg we want to stretch. We're crossing it over, putting it onto the opposite knee. Then we're reaching our hands in to grab that knee and pulling the leg into place. And sometimes if you round your back too much, you'll just roll over like I just did. Give me a second. There we go. I'm back. From here, we're pulling the knee into our chest. You got to work a little bit harder, but you have total control over the intensity of the stretch, and you get to choose whichever one that you want. I just keep rolling over because I keep trying to look at the camera. And anyways, pick your poison, figure out which stretch you're going to do. I'll give you 3 seconds to get into position, and we will begin right after that. 2, 1, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Last couple of seconds. If you're getting too chill and too comfortable, make sure you're still doing that stretch right. Push the ankle away if you're in pigeon. Really pull the whole leg towards you if you're doing figure four. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I might not have reminded you about this, but this is the fourth and final stretch before we get into the side splits. We're doing this last little bit of stretch for the outer butt glute situation in the hip, and then we're doing some side splits. So look forward to that. All right. I hope you're in position because it's time for a final split before the side splits. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. The pigeon can feel really intense on that glute. If you've never done anything like this before, it's a shocking amount of tension in that butt. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come on up out of that stretch and let's get ready to do some side splits. Before we do that, I'm going to crawl over to the camera real quick just to see if there is anything else for me to check out on the chat. GoldoX says the pigeon is intense. Indeed. Nini says, thank you. I don't know what you're thanking me for, but I appreciate it. Thanks. So I'm just pretend I know exactly what you're talking about. Thank you. Okay. Travel with Roxy says she prefers the figure four. Maria just followed. Welcome, Maria. Thank you for following. Ozzy sent some roses. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So let's get into the side splits. There's one thing that I want to talk about before we get into the side splits, and that is safety. Okay. So when we are in a opened up leg sort of position, hanging out, struggling over here, if you start falling forward and you lose your balance, it's easy enough to use your hands to catch yourself, right? But if you start falling backwards, it gets really scary really fast. So what I recommend is we become even closer friends with this wall behind us that we've used so lovingly thus far. All right. If you stand about 1 footprint, 1 footstep, 8 inches, 12 inches, 20, 30 centimeters ish in front of that wall, and you lose balance and you're like, oh no, the wall will be there. It'll catch you, help you stay safe. You won't fall that bad. You won't get that hurt. Maybe you'll get a light bruise at worst. And everybody's going to be happier for it. All right. So find the wall, get relatively close to it. And we are going to start the side splits. Let's go. Let's open up the legs nice and wide. Take a nice couple of deep breaths. Take your time. We don't have to rush right into this. Once your hips are a little bit uncomfortable, you're feeling that pressure building right here, fold, put your hands down like you're doing push-ups, okay? Make sure your elbows are able to bend and move. When you are able to support weight with your hands, it takes some of that weight in your body off of your legs and makes it easier for you to move your legs, which is exactly what we want to do next. We are externally rotating the legs. I think I can see that the phone can show my feet. So let's keep going. We want to make sure your heel is down on the ground. Your toes are pointing up and your knee is pointing up. I'm going to bend my knee so you can see that it's pointing upwards. Okay, we want to do that on both sides. The more weight you put into your hands, the further forward you lean, the easier it will be to move your legs into position. Okay, once you are having your toes pointing up and your knees pointing up, you start feeling this really intense stretch in your legs. And I can tell you I'm feeling it too. That's why I'm having such a hard time breathing and talking. Whew. Okay, we'll just hang out here for a quick second. And if you're ready, we can walk our hands back towards our hips. They used to be out in front, right? Like we're doing push-ups. Now we're going to slowly try to walk our hands as far back as we can. If you're not as deep as I am, and you're like, walk my hands back, where are they going to go? Into the void in between my legs? That is an entirely good point. You got a couple options. If you know there's no way you can reach because you're not deep enough into the side split, you can grab a stool, you can grab a couple of books, grab something to give yourself a little bit of support to get more comfortable. You can also grab a ginormous stack of pillows to give yourself a little bit of support without that. And I accidentally woke up the doggo. She is very upset at me for being so loud, but I also stole all of her cushions. So, you know, I think I deserve the barking. I don't know if you can actually hear the barking, but she was barking. And we got a ginormous stack of cushions. This is not the best way to do this. I'm just showing you that you can be very creative and you can be very comfortable. All right. Once we drop down into this position and we're still in that sort of Superman push-up position, you can start walking your hands back towards your hips. And if you want, you can just sit down and you can chill here. And you can try to lean forward. And this is more of a pancake, but pancake is at its extremes very similar to a side split, at least for most normal people. If you're really, really skilled already, yes, the side split and the pancake are different. But for normal folk like me, I want to work on both anyway. My legs are going to be split apart. It's basically, I'd rather be getting the 2-for-1 deal than just focusing on one or the other. So here we are. We're in this position. All right, I need to get rid of these cushions. So come out of that stretch. Getting rid of the cushions. Let's continue. Open up those legs. Drop down. Put your hands in between your legs. If you need to be higher up, then find whatever you need to be higher up. Man, demonstrating while tired is hard. Okay. Pull it together, Ken. We only have 3 stretches to go. All right. Once you're in this position and you're here and you can't get any deeper, you're not just falling left and right and making a fool of yourself. We're going to start at 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward, get back into that push-up hand position. Crawl if you need to. Pull your legs out of that side split position and come back into standing. Okay, next thing we gotta do is relax as much as we can. And I think the easiest way is just to flop around, shake everything. Flop, 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 flop. I think I made this joke a couple of days ago, but I'm gonna recycle it because a lot of you are new. We want to look like the inflatable car salesman, like thing that looks like this and goes, except we want our legs involved. And I know those don't have legs. It's actually the important part is the legs. So maybe this isn't a very good analogy example, but you want your legs to be flopping around. And the more floppy they look, the more wiggly they look, the better. And that's because that's how you know your muscles are relaxed. If, for example, my arm was not relaxed and all these muscles are really tight, and I tried to flop, it would look like a ridiculous, robot dance impression. But, this looks like I'm a rubber band. And that's what we want, to prove that we're relaxed and our muscles are loose. Okay, if you've done that, we're gonna do a couple of quick checks just to make sure all of our joints are doing okay after the stretch. And I like to start with some hip circles. Then follow up with some high knees to make sure the hips are doing good. I like to do some mini squats where I know my knees are working, my ankles are working. I come up onto my toes to make sure my feet are doing okay. And finally, I wrap up with some butt kicks that I don't think are actually that effective at doing anything. I just like to kick my butt. Once you've done all those things, we have checked all of our joints, everything in the lower body, making sure it is good, it is ready to work. And that means we're ready to get back into round 2 of the side splits. Part of the reason why we take a whole bunch of time doing all those fun things in between is because our muscles need to relax in between the stretches. If you just go from one 30-second stretch, take 2 seconds and get into another 30-second stretch, you might as well have done a 60-second stretch, right? So when you're ready, let's get back into round 2. Same thing, get close to the wall so that if you start falling backwards, we don't have to do the matrix dodging for this one. You won't get hurt. Okay, let's open up those legs, get into the deep side split position. As soon as it gets uncomfortable in the hips, I want you to fold forward, put your hands down, and let's externally rotate the legs. Once again, that means your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. I can't really see the phone, but I'm pretty sure I can see my feet pointing in the right direction. So you know exactly what I'm doing. Walk those hands back in between your legs or make the adjustments that are necessary depending on your flexibility. If you got a really nice solid cushion, I'm a little bit jealous. Once you're here, we want to try to do a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. There's potentially just a tiny little bit of friction at your feet that's holding you back from a deeper side stretch. And if you wiggle from side to side just a little bit, you'll be able to break free. Break free. Okay. Once you're stuck, can't go any further. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. You can always try to break free at any time. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done with this round. Crawl forward, pull your body out of that side split stretch, come back into standing, and because this is round 2. Okay, relax, shake, 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 wiggle, 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 shake, 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 wiggle, 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 wiggle. Once your legs start feeling kind of really sort of maybe kind of normal, it's never going to be actually normal, right? Because you just put them through a whole bunch of stress. But once it feels like they're okay, you're ready to move on. Let's do our checks. Circle. I always have a whole bunch of discomfort right here in the sides of the hips in the front. And so I like to spend an extra second or two here. It gets really bad after the second one and the third one, but it takes like 4 seconds and goes away. So you might have something similar in some other muscle that needs some love and work. Whatever it is, take your time. This check is to make sure that your muscles, your hips, your joints are functioning well or as you'd like them to. And so you can address situations that might come up when we're doing this stretch. Okay, what do we just do? I don't know, but let's do some knees. Do some mini squats. Make sure your knees, your ankles, all those things are working good. And I think I'm missing something. Butt kickers, of course. All right, that is round 2. We're going to take a slightly longer break in between this second one and the third and final one because we just did 2 rounds. And after the second round, you're going to be even more tired than the first round. So I'm going to check the chat. We got a question. Any tips for posture or tense traps and shoulders? Do I have a couple of potential tips that might help. If you have a chair and you're sitting on the chair, I'm going to have an imaginary chair, right? Just imagine there's a chair underneath my butt. If you grab the seat of that chair, like sides of the seat, and you pull that tight, like so, it becomes possible for you to start doing some of these really nice neck stretches, right? You'll start feeling a really good neck stretch here. And a lot of the time, when you have a tight thing that you already know about, and you're working on that tight thing that you already know about, but it's not feeling that much relief, it might be tied something else going on in the spine. So, really quick and easy thing that you can do anywhere without looking foolish for the most part is getting into a chair. Actually, you know what? I'll just get a chair. This is a chair. Grab the side underneath the chair and really pull your way to one side. So right now my left shoulder is getting a nice big old stretch. And if you want, you can try your best to depress your shoulder all the way down. But once you're here, you can also lean your neck in the opposite direction of the arm. And you'll start feeling a nice big stretch in the top of the shoulders in your neck. And you can give that a try. Specifically for the traps, I think the only thing I can think of is if you get into a row position, which, man, I'm getting into a lot of examples. It's hard to demonstrate. A row, if you have a dining room table, for example, and you get underneath the dining room table and you hook your hands on the top of the table and you try to do this position, this is a row. In the gym, if you watch enough, fitness TikTok or fitness Instagram, fitness YouTube, they'll have like dumbbell rows that look something like this, right? So anytime your elbow is pulling towards your back, it's called a row. You can do a version by hanging off a dining room table, for example. And if you focus on protracting your shoulders, but like relaxing into the protraction, that might help to stretch out the upper back area. Give that a shot. Let me know how it goes. Okay, where are we at? We are way deep into side splits and forgot to come back. If you're having fun, if you got some valuable knowledge, if you're liking the good vibes and you're feeling good about all the stretching that we've already done, please hit follow, hit subscribe, get notified. We do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully together we can all make a bunch of progress towards our side split goals. Okay, I think that's everything. Let's do our third and final side split. Same thing, get close to that wall, become best friends with that wall so that it will catch you when you fall, and Let's open up our legs. When it gets uncomfortable in the hips, fold forward, put your hands down. Take a couple of seconds to breathe real quick here. You might notice that in the first stretch, you got stuck as soon as you started coming down, but now maybe when you're doing that external leg rotation, you'll notice maybe your leg is starting to slide out on its own. That is awesome. Oh, keep on taking it chill as much as you can. Relax. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Put all that body weight into the legs. And then, you know what we got to do? We got to wiggle. It's all about the wiggle. We wiggle to relax. We wiggle to get deeper into stretches. Once you're done wiggling, you can't get any deeper. Let's go. Final 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. We're almost done. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're done. Take your hands, put them in front of you like you're doing push-ups, but really you're just crawling forward. Crawl, 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 crawl. And once you are out of position, take a nice second to chill for a little bit. Oh, okay. Once your legs are starting to feel good enough to stand up, and let's shake it out. Wiggle, shake, loosen everything that you can. Let your legs flop around like you just caught a fish, and do some dance moves. Shake, 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 shake. Your hands and your arms are probably doing a lot of work, holding yourself stable, keeping you from collapsing and falling over. Let those shake and relax too. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. You're just a giant Twizzler. Or, oh man, what are the sour straw? I don't know what other candies kind of do this. Moving on. Let's do our quick checks. Hip circles. Ugh. High knees. Mini squat. Check your knees, your ankles, your toes, and once that is good, we are all done. Completely wrapped up. It is time to call it. Okay. Let's see. I am checking the chat real quick. Other than responding to stuff in the chat, we are done. We are completely wrapped up. You should feel super proud of yourself. We just did a whole bunch of stretching. And if you've never really done some of those stretches before and it was your first time, congratulations. You just tried something new, something probably kind of painful and hard for your first time, and you crushed it. If you've been here for a bunch of days, like Goldo X, for example, who I think just liked the live, welcome back. Thank you for keep coming back. I hope you continue to have fun and enjoy the good vibes. Elete Wake 4941 on YouTube asked if I can see the messages. I can see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for participating in the chat on YouTube. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful night as well. Stargazer says, thank you, Ken. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Thank you for taking a chance and doing a whole bunch of stretches on the floor in the middle of the day. I appreciate you for giving it a shot, and I appreciate you for sticking around the whole entire time, because I saw your chat, like your messages way, way early in at least the middle. I don't know how long ago that was, because my sense of time when I'm over there is, because we've been here for like 64 minutes. I felt like it's been 12. So I don't understand how time works when I'm doing those stretches. Goldo X says, I enjoy the sessions, but real, I'm getting more flexible. Lovely. I am so happy that you're seeing progress in just the 6 days that you've been coming. At some point, I'm gonna completely lose track of how many days you've been here, but I hope you don't get offended come like day 24. I'll just be like, wait, I can't remember. I don't know how to count anymore. uh, let's see. Anything else I need to address? We had a whole bunch of people pop in and then follow. Emerald Gem, GG1010. Welcome everybody. Alessandra with a capital R. For real Casey. HM Real Magic Store. Ooh, that sounds like a fun account. And I appreciate you all for coming in and following and hanging out. I need help pronouncing your name, but L, a lot of letters in between, 4941. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. I hope you had fun. It seems like you really enjoyed participating in the live chat. So I hope to see you soon, and I hope you keep coming back. We do this every single day for, at this point, it's been turning into an hour-long thing. And I hope you have fun. I hope you're entertained. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. I hope you did more stretching than you ever thought you would do by yourself. And I hope that I was able to help you accomplish that. So, all right, that's it. I'm just rambling now. So I hope you had fun. Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming. Bye. Oh, and Maria. Oh, actually, I don't know what I'm doing. See y'all on Monday. Yes. See you all later. We got a Dan. Hello. Bye. Have a fabulous weekend. Thank you. I will. And everybody's saying goodbye. Love you. No, Mayan Cheng. Yes, you totally missed it. But don't worry. We'll be back in like 23 hours. So you can just come back tomorrow or the day after or the day after that. I plan to be here. So keep coming back. You'll find me soon. All right. That's it. Goodbye. And YouTube. We got 4 people. We're still hanging out. And I'm trying to see if I can get YouTube to give me a little bit more information about who you are, but I cannot. So I think that is how we're gonna wrap. If you don't participate in the chat, I don't know who you are, and I'm sorry that YouTube works that way. But I'd love to get to know you. So please enjoy yourself, introduce yourself, let me know. But I just saw the number drop, so I think that means it is really time to say goodbye. So goodbye. Bye. See you tomorrow.